Rich Rising, y'all. Rich Rising, rise and shine, honey. I want to say something. Um, and I say this with full awareness that it's going to be received by, listen, it doesn't even matter. I'm aware, okay? I'm aware. One of the things that really has um, compelled me to stop sharing certain things online is the fact that there are a lot of people out there. I'm turning off the comments, by the way, y'all. Um, there are a lot of people out there who are easily manipulated. Okay, there are a lot of people out there who are easily groomed. Okay, there are a lot of people who easily fall victim to folks who call themselves energy workers, healers, spiritual practitioners, whatever you want to call it, right? And now I'm understanding why some of you guys feel the way that you feel when it comes to, you just feeling this negative connotation with people who are in the same realm as me, right? I get why it will start to feel like, you're being scammed by everybody because a lot of people have come into this space within the last several years and position themselves for the sole sake of taking advantage of people, for the sole sake of exploiting people. And specifically, I'm talking about people who are vulnerable, people who are in need of real guidance, people who are in need of real direction. And I get it. So I have to start by saying that because I know in the past I've been on the opposite end, well, you guys need to stop saying everything is fake. But I get why you feel that way because there are a lot of things that are fake, right? And maybe I didn't really have a chance to see it fully for myself, but more and more by me allowing certain things, right? More and more by me being able to have an experience. So then I have, right, that formal experience, not just an idea or an assumption, like formal experience. More and more I have been seeing how easy it is for y'all to fall victim to individuals who are not really who they say they are. Mm, mm. Now, this is the reason why I have taken a step back from doing things the way that I used to do things and really even, you know, letting people in to know fully what my capacity is, what my ranking is spiritually, all of that, right? Because I recognize how much falseness there is within the community of real ones, right? There's a lot of falseness. So it's hard to really filter through and know who's who because a lot of people are just capitalizing. I get it. And this is why I low key have gotten into this space where it's like I kind of have been gatekeeping. You know, I've been gatekeeping to a certain capacity because, you know, it's just, it is sickening actually. And here's the thing, as someone who recognizes that I am a sage, right? I have reached self mastery. My connection to the divine is, listen, I nurture this every day, all day. So this is not something that I would ever need clarity from another practitioner on. So when I have anyone come to me and attempt to read me, I had somebody the other day say, hey, I'll do a reading for you. And I never responded to that message because, you know, first of all, I'm not cultivating the community that I'm cultivating so that people can get readings. You know, that's not what that is that I'm building on House of Wolf Discord. Um, but second of all, having somebody come to me that attests to being someone of any spiritual caliber, uh, energy recognizes energy. So if you, as a practitioner of any kind, can't step into my energy and recognize who I am and what I am right off the bat, then I already know that I'm dealing with somebody that is an imposter. Okay. Um, I personally am not trying to tear anybody down and will not do it. It's not even about a trying to. I won't do it. But what I will say is there needs to be a very clear consensus established. Readers should not be able to go and pull out their cards and just say whatever they want to anybody without their consent. Now, I'm low key throwing myself under the bus in this in this sense, but still with the understanding that in the past when I have shared any channel messages with people, that's what I was divinely guided to do. But I also recognize the weight the weight in providing any type of spiritual insight and how that can impact a person who may not be ready, right? Now, for my situation, I can wholeheartedly say anybody that has ever gotten any type of guidance from me, they have been able to take that and capitalize on it later, even if they may not have been ready for it at that time. But here's why I feel the way that I feel now. I recognize the impact that I have as someone who's a seer, right? And I recognize that this is not something, even if I have the capacity to see your whole future, that's not for me to go and tell, anyone, oh, this is what I see for your future, whatever. And this is probably why in past instances where I've been doing readings for people and I got that discernment, right? You'll know it comes. It's like, oh, no, hold on, wait, pause. I got that discernment to let me know that I need to be mindful of, the territory that I'm moving into because the person who I am communicating with is not in the space to be able to receive what I'm saying positively, right? Um, but still, all in all, I do believe that, individuals do need to hear the truth, right? But only at their own free will, only at their own consent, though, because consent goes further than just, I don't give you sexual consent, right? It goes all the way beyond that because now we're talking about, you impeding in somebody's life against their will. And how does that feel when somebody does something against your will? It feels like a violation, right? Now, I'm going to speak for me. I had already got a download, wasn't even a download. I was doing a reading for myself and I got a very clear message about someone in my community that was going to be being moved out of the community because it's just not aligned, right? And I was kind of like, you know, a little curious as to the why, but then once I got the message, I, even though I had that little bit of like little sprinkle of curiosity, I just moved accordingly. I said, okay, listen, let's just let it play out. I literally said this on stream. Matter of fact, I said, let's just let it play out. And not even 24 hours later, not even 2 hours later, it played out. And here's the crazy thing. I feel as if when spirit gives you a nudge, when you have a download, when you have direction to do something, or when you are shown something that's going to take place, it's not really meant for you to go and investigate it. You don't need to go and pull more cards or anything like that. It's just a, okay, move accordingly. And so because of my obedience and my willingness to just let it be what it is, because I mean, at this point, hey, I ain't new to this, I'm true to this, you know. um it was kind of just like a quick fast and in a hurry thing. It didn't really, nothing really happened, you know. But spirit said that something was going to happen, and it happened, and then I continued to move forward. But as I'm moving forward, I also have this desire to express that, what if I was different than I am right now, right? What if I wasn't as seasoned spiritually as I am? I could easily become a victim of people's exploitation. Okay. Um, any practitioner, anyone that is tapped in, uh, that crosses paths with me, 9 times out of 10, if I cross paths with a real seasoned practitioner, they they see me. We see each other, and our conversation is fluid, and that's that, right? uh, Anyone who has false pre false intentions, um it's going to be more of a, well, let me plant these little seeds and see what happens when I plant these seeds. And I already was picking this stuff up, you know. But also, I'm a firm believer in allowing people to show me who they are without me just jumping to conclusions because something feels familiar, or I may have seen something intuitively. Well, let me see what a person's going to do. Let me give a person the ability to hang themselves. Okay. um Saying all this to say, I don't take it lightly, anybody coming into the community that we're building and exploiting people. And I will not allow it to happen. And so, with that being said, I am realizing that what I'm going to do is I'm going to limit the amount of people that can come into the community who are spiritually inclined. And specifically, I mean practitioners. I'm going to focus primarily on creatives and artists, because it's not that it completely exonerates the need for the spiritual foundation, but spirituality is a personal experience, it is a personal journey. And I think we've gotten a little too comfortable to share online, a little too comfortable, um, you know, prying into people's lives and whatnot, or trying to, because some of us, you know, we got plans in place, and strategies and whatnot in place, and we've been cloaked. And you know, people who try to tap into our akashic records, they get what they was looking for, but it ain't exactly what they was looking for, because it ain't real. We know how to divert people who come in to, you know, pry in our energy without our consent. But a lot of people don't know what to do. A lot of people don't know how to protect themselves against people who seek to exploit them. A lot of people don't know what to do when they read messages online, hear messages on TikTok, or whatever platform, and they feel compelled, you know, by that message. Oh, this message is resonating, let me comment my whole life experience, etc., etc., etc. Y'all don't know the protocol. And because of this, I feel that it is my responsibility to give you the protocol, to share with you different tips on how to keep yourself safe and protected against people who are looking to prey on your energy. Okay. Um, of course, you already know how to spot a scammer in your inbox. People coming to you, hey, you know, I got this feeling that, you've been going through something, and you've been dealing with romance problems, and they know what to use for a lot of us. But the thing is for a lot of us, they don't know what to use, because they say things that as a dead giveaway that they're scammers. Well, it starts by them sliding in our inbox in the first place. Spirit ain't never led me to slide in nobody's inbox and say, I sense that you've been through several breakups, and you need to hear this message right now, and for a small fee. That's some bullshit. Okay. But what I'm gonna do, and I don't know if I'm gonna do it today or not, but what I'm gonna do at some point is I'm going to create a video that helps you, okay, a little playbook that helps you to understand how to maneuver around these spiritual messages. Because with the internet being so saturated with these people who they just want to pull you in, right? They hooking you, right? It's so hard for a lot of people to keep themselves safe. And y'all know how I feel about destiny swapping on this channel. We've talked about this numerous times before. If you are spiritually sound and rooted like me, ain't no such thing as a destiny swap is not possible. If you are like me, ain't no such thing as somebody coming in and telling you something that you don't already know. But there is a such thing as people preying upon individuals who are not savvy in this area, okay? And I don't want to see y'all consistently putting things online that continue to keep you victimized. For those of you who are experiencing gang stalking, for those of you who are experiencing people, using witchcraft on you, and then you speak about the different things that are happening to you, and you put it in the comment section, and you don't realize that you're just making yourself more vulnerable. You're making yourself more prone to attacks. And so I want you to stop being so open and transparent online about the things that are happening spiritually. Why? Because people are looking for their next victim. Okay, they're looking for their next victim, and you're kind of like putting out a calling card, when you sit there and you say certain things in the comment section of these videos, and you start to say, oh, this message really resonated, and this is what I'm experiencing, and I just got this job, and blah 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 blah. Stop talking about what's happening in your personal life. That's one thing that I have to say about what I'm doing now, compared what I'm doing now differently compared to what I was doing before. When I was building community a few years back, I was still a little too open about aspects of my life. This time around, not so much. I share little simple things about, my everyday world or whatever, but I don't share any details about the things that are happening in my world that can actually make me vulnerable to people who are looking to prey upon me, because I understand that I am always going to have a target on me just by me being who I am. When you chosen, they always gonna try to choose you, okay? And I'm not talking about the right people. I'm not talking about the good people. I'm talking about the people who see you, who see something that is in you that they don't see in themselves, and they want it for themselves, right? So I know how to protect myself, and I had to learn that through experiences where I left myself unprotected and vulnerable. And I want to help you to stop being so damn vulnerable too. Now, with this, I get that there's a lot of people who, well, we need guidance and we need understanding, right? But there has to be some type of standard in place. I feel you need to raise the bar a little until you really know who you're working with. You shouldn't allow people to have certain access to vulnerable parts of your life. You shouldn't be willing to share certain details about yourself with any old stranger on the internet. You ain't never heard of stranger danger, you know? So for me, it's not a paranoia thing. It's not oh, I'm just being overly protective and defensive. It's, I know the dangers out there. Okay. I know how people have constantly and still are trying to use things to try to conquer me. But again, my destiny was already written, and ain't nobody gonna be able to rewrite it. Okay. So I'm not concerned about it, which is why I haven't spoken about it anymore. I told y'all, once I moved into my new reality, everything from the old reality does not exist anymore. Now, people trying to come in, plant little seeds, man, I feel bad for them, because spirit already let it be known, and my ancestors already let it be known that it ain't gonna be looking too good for them people. Okay? So I need you guys to have a little bit more shit. Just be strict about who you allow to know things about you. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you sharing too much online, And these scammers are seeing the things that you're sharing online, and then they waiting for the right time to come and approach you. Okay. Now that they realizing that we realizing that these certain ways that they've been doing in the previous past several years, that we're realizing these are scams, they're going to get a little bit more creative with the way that they scam, right? But they still are out there. There's still these folks out there that are preying upon you, and simply to, yes, gain your energy. Number one, they're harvesting your energy, but also, they want your money. Okay. Which is also energy. So um protect yourself. Okay. Treat your private life as if you know your life depends upon it. Create a sense of privacy, and a sense of access where everybody doesn't feel like they could just come in and start soliciting you for a reading. You don't want to be read by everybody. You don't. You shouldn't want to anyway. And if you are being read by everybody, that's probably the reason why you're still stuck in loops, stuck in cycles, because you are allowing too many people to have access to you, and they're simply taking advantage of that. They're not going to tell you that. They're going to consistently keep the flow going. They're going to keep the doors open for a need for you to return back to them and ask them more questions. Oh, well, now this is happening. And a lot of times these things are happening because they're the ones that are doing them. Hello? So protect yourself. And I will, create something a little bit more in depth and detail so that you can really know how to identify the real from the fake. Okay. But, it's not even about identifying the real from the fake. When your discernment tells you that something ain't for you, listen to that shit. You seeking advice from people who don't even have the qualifications to give you advice. Okay. You're seeking advice from people who are looking to exploit you, not actually help you. Okay. So hopefully you listen to me when I say this, that I'm not here to read. Well, I am. I am. I'm going to be reading in a minute, but I'm probably going to come back for a different video. Actually, I'm not even about to read. Yeah, I'm not. I'm not about to read. I don't need to read. This was the reading. Shit. Okay. Keep yourself protected and recognize game. Okay. Recognize game. I know it's sometimes hard to spot, especially if somebody's attractive. Okay. Why you think a lot of times I do faceless messages? Why you think a lot of times I don't need to turn on my camera, because I want you to get the message. I'm not looking for you to, to connect to me and my physical. I'm looking for you to connect to whatever message is being delivered, because it's definitely coming straight from the divine. Trust and believe that. I ain't steered you in the wrong direction yet, and I won't steer you in the wrong direction. I ain't asked y'all for $1 yet, and I won't be asking you for it. Those who come to me based off of the videos that they see, those who have felt drawn to me and have come to get readings or whatever from me, that's different. I didn't solicit those people. You know what I mean? They came in because they felt called. They got what they needed, and shit. For a lot of them, I've never seen them again. Shit. And that's how it's supposed to be. You come, you get your clarity, and you go. There should be no reason for you to have to be a repeat visitor. I don't want to keep seeing you. I don't want to keep hearing the same questions over and over again. I'm here so you can grow, so you can heal, so you can ascend, and so you can motherfucking transform into your true self. But a lot of people, they don't want that for you. Okay. They want to stall you, and then if they can, they want to stop you completely. Okay, they want to completely redirect you, but don't let them. And I'm specifically talking to some of y'all who y'all already had a particular y'all had a particular path that you were supposed to be on, and you got misguided. And I'm not gonna say it's because of a reader, but I will say that making yourself too accessible to these readers is your first mistake. Okay, do not allow any old body to have access to your energy. Treat your energy as sacred. Okay. Treat it as sacred. Don't let everybody have access to you. Try to skip past a lot of these messages online because of a lot of it is just keeping y'all in a loop. It's keeping you stuck in a cycle. Because if you really stop to think about it, what are you gaining by hearing the same messages being repeated over and over and over again in different fonts? If you haven't resolved your issue by the first reading, there's something wrong. You shouldn't need messages consistently over and over again. At that point, it sounds like an addiction, and that's a problem too, because that's where spiritual psychosis comes in. You know, a lot of people become mentally disoriented and don't even realize it. A lot of people become energetically controlled and don't even realize it. I need you to be more aware and more mindful of the fact that a lot of people are here to prey upon you. And I say a lot of people, sadly, because I thought it was just a couple people here and there, little scammers here and there. No, it's a lot of people. And a lot of people, they're sophisticated in their approach. You know, they got a whole setup. You know what I'm saying? They got everything outlined, and a lot of it is either copy and paste it from somebody else, or Chat GPT done gave it to them. You can recognize the two because Chat GPT, no, no, should never be getting your spiritual wisdom from Chat GPT. What the fuck can Chat GPT tell you on a spiritual tip if Chat GPT ain't even a human? Come on now. Like, come on now. For real, man. Like, come on. Think, think. And if all else fails and you truly are looking for some type of guidance, use your discernment. Ask your higher self, ask God, ask whatever you believe in to give you direction and point you to someone that can legitimately give you what you need so you can get some clarity and go. You should not be coming back over and over and over again. Tarot should have never been turned into entertainment. There's nothing fucking entertaining about the spiritual journey. So yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Spend our entire lives looking for soulmates, but never come to the full realization of the soul inside. Being blinded by misconceptions like complexion with the perception that we have very open eyes. I've traveled through many galaxies with the spiritual knowledge, just to let you know that you are not these physical bodies.
It's gonna be a beautiful day. It's Monday. It's Monday. Mindset Monday in full effect. I think we're gonna get back to doing the Mindset Monday calls. So, all right, I'll leave y'all with one of my faves from Londrell.
I gotta be thankful because I know someone lost their life today. And so every moment I endeavor to live life the righteous way.
Oops, that was an accident. I remember when I first found Londrell about I found Londrell back in I think 2020. Somebody had been they had made a video somewhere. I don't even remember what platform this was on now, but whatever. Somebody had made a video and they had Londrell playing in the background. I was like, "Oh, I like that." And I've been following along with his new music ever since. So hold on, that wasn't what we was doing though. Where the song that I was just listening to? Gratitude for the sunrise. Child, now it's gonna make me hmm, it's gonna make me um start all over again. That used to be the one that I used to listen to all the time. I manifested something. I'm manifesting money. I used to listen to that all the time when I was doing my money manifestations.
I gotta be thankful because I know someone lost their life there.
Mm-mm.
And so every moment I endeavor to live life the righteous way.
I'm about to get ready
Serve
for
with a sense of purpose and let
my
love
day.
if I die today. That's just the price I pay. So I try to be kind and seek the divine.
He said,
Every day.
gratitude for the sunrise. Ashe.
Gratitude for the sunshine.
Ashe.
Gratitude for the moonlight.
Ashe.
Every day feels like a new life.
Ashe.
Especially when I meditate.
Huh. Take a breath and then to elevate.
Everything deserves gratitude.
Hmm. That's
It's
my
my
everyday
everyday attitude.
attitude.
Gratitude. It's my everyday
Attitude.
gratitude. Gratitude. It's my
My
everyday
everyday attitude. Dang, I've been on here for 30 minutes. That's crazy. All right, y'all. Well, I hope you have a beautiful Monday. Remember that
nourishment of the soul.
your mindset is what shapes your reality. So, when you have a strong mind, you're able to easily shape the reality that you want to see, opposed to experiencing one that is less than desirable. I love y'all. Ashe.